Hi, this is like a random video about when to cut your hair. I've researched this topic a lot, just because so anyway, like the ancient ones will say there's something different about the day of Sunday. That on the day of Sunday, it's better to avoid cutting your hair because on Sunday is the day where we're most connected to guardian angels. And cutting your hair on Sunday um, um, disturbs the connection with the guardian angels. So Sunday is like a no-go for like everyone or at your own risk, because really, like, cut your hair when you want, but this video is like a coalescence of what I've learned from my own experience and what I've learned from the internet, with respect to, in some sense, the moon calendar, the lunar calendar. There's a lot of websites about this. So there's like a coalescence of all that, right? All right, so yeah, so Sunday, it's better to avoid cutting your hair. So then the other thing that the ancient ones will say is whatever day you were born, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, don't cut it the day before you're born. Like, for example, I was born on a Tuesday, so I never cut my hair on Monday. It's so loud over here. Oh my goodness. All right. So yeah, so avoid cutting your hair on the day before you were born, whatever day that is. So like if you're born on a Friday, don't cut it on Thursday, and so on. So there's just like, out of the 7 days, now you've kind of got two. Well, depend if you're born on Monday. You just yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, let's continue here. Yeah, so then another factor aside from that has to do with the lunar cycle. So if you cut your hair early in the lunar cycle while the moon is waxing, the hair tends to grow fuller and thicker. Whereas if you cut your hair later in the cycle, the hair tend to strengthen the roots. It's good for strengthening the roots. And the best time is like near the full moon, because the full moon sort of represent a peak and like a transformation. And there is mixed advice about this. And then the other huge factor is the sign that the moon is in. And I think this is really important. So for example, like the best moon sign for cutting your hair will be Leo. For any kind of haircut, for any kind of style, just like it's like a lion's mane, right? That's always good. The Leo moon supports a good haircut for anyone. The next best time for cutting the hair, I would say, is when the moon is in any of the earth signs, because cutting hair is somewhat of an earthly matter, and when the moon is in an earth sign, there's less likelihood of like split ends and stuff like that. So it's like good time to cut the hair, like, and it's also good for like dyeing the hair as well. I will say that you would think that the water sign would also be good for like dyeing the hair because it's like sort of like a chemical process. So I will say that, but especially the sign of Scorpio. And there's different advice. So let's just say for a sign of Scorpio, what they say is kind of funny about that is that if you cut your hair when the sign when the moon is in Scorpio, it could have an effect on your relationship. It could be positive or negative. So I would say that it's good if you're prepared to make a transformation, because Scorpio is among the signs that are very good at handling transformation, and very good for like dyeing the hair. Let's see. I'm going out of order here, but like, okay, so the earth sign, I would say that like The Venus signs tend to be good with like a rounding sort of effect, like Taurus, good for like styles having to do with like rounding, like curls. And Libra is also a Venus sign, but it's an air sign. So the air sign I think are good for cutting the hair, but or for styling the hair, like sort of like creating a style with the hair that's already been cut. For some reason, like Om journals say that like like a beehive hairdo work well for the Taurus or Gemini moon. I found that like when I cut my hair with a Taurus moon, it come out looking more rounded. If I cut my hair during the like a Leo or Scorpio moon, it come out with more sharpness. Let's see. So I also think that, like for example, Gemini, I think is very good for creating nice fades, because Gemini have a lot of finesse in the hands. I'm just showing my hands. Jupiter in Gemini this year. Anyway, so yeah, so I found that Gemini good for creating like fades and a lot of finesse. So if it's something having to do with finesse, Virgo also very good with finesse. Probably like Virgo is sort of like the master of like earthly matters in a way, like sort of like the most adaptable earth sign. So it kind of good for handling dyeing, good for cutting the hair, however, very adaptable, and good for cleaning up too. So like kind of good there. Yeah, like probably after Leo, like there's the earth signs is next best. Any of the earth sign, but I think like from the internet says Virgo kind of like the next best after Leo. But it depends on you. It also depends. So I think like it depends like on your rising sign. If the moon is in your rising sign, then that means the moon is going to be supporting your looks. So that could be a good time to cut your hair. The ones to avoid. So like, all right, let me just make sure I got them all. Oh no, because okay. So let's talk about the fire signs. All right. So Aries is the first sign. It's not the best time to cut the hair. The head is sensitive. There's like immunity, kind of like the hair is like not like it's not the best time to cut your hair. Maybe a mohawk, but like I would avoid cutting the hair for Aries unless you're just trying to like fresh start, like total mess. Gonna cut it again like soon. Yeah, Taurus, really good for cutting the hair. It's a Venus sign, especially good with rounded thing like curls. So they say like Taurus, Gemini are good for curls. So I understand, it makes sense to me why Taurus good for curls with the Venus. Gemini, I guess it's like kind of like, okay, the flowers from the spring bloom are now like curling in the wind, you know? Yeah, so yeah, Gemini very capable like mimicking any kind of style. So I think good there, but also say good for creating rebel styles. The opposite sign of Gemini is Sagittarius. So what they say about that is Sagittarius is a fire sign. And they say if you cut your hair when the moon is in Sagittarius, the hair is going to be rebellious, like a wild horse. Like it's going to be hard to tame your hair. So if you want to be able to get your hair, like, I mean, I have short hair, but like people have long hair. Like if you're trying to get it to like be a certain way, you don't want your hair to be like a wild horse unless you do. But the positive thing about like cutting it in Moon Gemini, it kind of like raises your sense of like authority, like with your peers in some way. So it could be like a bit wild. Let's see. Yeah, Capricorn, Earth sign, good. I would say especially good for cutting a hair that will last for a long time. A haircut that will last for a long time, because that moon value that. But I would say, yeah. Also, it is a sign that also that sign influence the hair growth as well. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, it's important to have like eat good nutrition for your hair. Like, things like parsley, cilantro, I know are very good for the hair. But anyway, just take good care of yourself, of course. So like, let's see. Okay, the water signs. All right. So Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So we talked about Scorpio already. Cancer and Pisces, I would tend to avoid cutting my hair then. What kind of like is they say it's good if you want your hair to grow slower, to cut it when the moon is in Cancer or Pisces. But personally, like I avoid cutting my hair at those times because I'm usually doing other like work on web mural or something like that at those times. Very emotionally driven times, so kind of like why not just save the haircut for like when the moon is in Leo, like because the other thing is like not only is like Leo like kind of like a lion hair, but like it's like also very good at handling transformation. I would say there's some signs that are better at handling like massive transformation, but yeah. So let's see, did I skip any? Because I went out of order and like I wanted to like yeah, so there's another factor called the lunar day. There's 30 lunar days, and there is different advice for each of the 30 lunar days. So it's too much detail to get into, but there's this one website called Astrology K that have a haircut calendar that sort of coalesce the advice. I recommend that one the most if you want to look up for, it's like a calendar. It's like Astrology K haircut moon calendar or something like that. You find that one. I tend not to want to link to these like astrology website because there's so many of them and I have no idea like where like the source of them is from, and there's like a lot of ads. But for this topic, there's definitely a thing you could learn there. Yeah, okay, let's just make sure. We got Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and we got Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Aquarius. So this is the thing I really wanted to talk about because Pluto just changed to Aquarius a few days ago. And Aquarius, like, is my moon sign, and very, Aquarius moon is supportive of a haircut that's different, trying something different than you've ever tried before. And I think because Pluto has just entered Aquarius, like this is like a change, like this affects the next 2 decades. This is a good time period, and Mars is in Leo right now. So having Mars in Leo and Pluto just entering Aquarius, I think it's supportive of a transformation of the hair. Because like getting a haircut is sort of like a good manifestation of Mars, in Leo, and especially with the opposition to Pluto in Aquarius, I think that there could be a lot of exciting style coming out of this time, and colorful style as well. So right now it's a Sagittarius season, very colorful. A lot of color, so I would encourage everyone to like experiment with their color and hairstyle, do it what feel right for you. And also I personally think that there's going to be like, I would like to see more neon color out there in the world in the hair, for people that are like long enough to have long enough hair to dye their hair. So yeah, so let's just sum that up a little bit. So if you want to do like rounded styles, try when the moon is in Venus sign, especially Taurus, I would say, because it's Earth sign. Do like use the and let's see, if you want to do sharp style, Leo or Scorpio, or so like Yeah, okay. This video is so long, my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna, yeah, but I'm curious, like, what other people have learned about this because I'm not a professional hair. I cut my own hair, but that's it. Like, I just, like, easy, and, like, yeah, so I just wonder, like, what everyone, their own experience have for this. And I'm especially curious about the Scorpio haircuts because they say that that can really affect their relationship, like, and also the Leo haircut, like, yeah, that's I could say like my best haircut. Like I like to cut my hair when the moon is in Leo. There's another factor too. Is sort of like the time of day. Um, like you could catch like a good time to cut the hair. Like might be say um, like especially good time of day. For example, like it might be like say like during the Capricorn rising you will have like Leo as the eighth house like of transformation, so that's kind of good to have like, but that's too much detail, my goodness. Just kidding. All right, just enjoy your own hair. They say hair is a powerful feature, connection to the angels. Yeah, so but and I guess like if your angels are haunting you, you could try cutting it on Sunday. I'm sure there's some places, I'm sure it could be done. Sort of, yeah. And the safest time to cut it is when the moon is in the Earth signs, uh, or to dye it, to dye the hair. Yeah, enjoy. Thank you for watching. Oh my God, so long.